I have a coffee. The coffee is delicious. Good morning, students. Nobody seems to be here yet, so mostly I'm talking to myself. Hooray. Um, it is 10 o'clock, and I said that I will at this point. So even if you're not tuning in live, you can catch up on this later. I am not reading this entire chapter to you on account of the language, which I did discuss previously, in the fact that I don't want necessarily to say certain words on camera because I have a personal disinterest in saying racial epithets. So I am actually going to stop this chapter a little more than midway through and let you guys finish it up on your own, especially because the part I want you to read on your own is very powerful, in addition to containing some of that language that I find very questionable and offensive. So with that said, chapter 2, if you are in our old copies of our books that are all beaten and battered, we are on page 32. If you've got one of the newer books, you're going to kind of have to eyeball it. We are starting at the very beginning of chapter 2. And if you have any questions, I fixed it so you can comment live and I can see them in real time, which is pretty cool. So feel free to ask questions during the reading. Here we go. All right. Chapter 2. Cassie, you better watch yourself, girl, Big Ma cautioned, putting one rough, large hand against my back to make sure I didn't fall. I looked down at my grandmother from midway up one of the wooden poles Papa had set out to mark the length of the cotton field. Big Ma was Papa's mother, and like him, she was tall and strongly built. Her clear, smooth skin was the color of a pecan shell. Big Ma, I ain't gonna fall, I scoffed, then climbed onto the next strong spike and reached for a fibrous puff at the top of a tall cotton stalk. You sure better not fall, girl, grumbled Big Ma. Sometimes I wish we had more low cotton like down around Vicksburg. I don't like y'all children climbing them things. She looked around, her hand on her hip. Christopher John and Little Man farther down the field balanced skillfully on lower spikes on their own poles, plucking the last of the cotton. But Stacy, too heavy now to climb the poles, was forced to remain on the ground. Big Ma eyed all of us again. And then, with burlap bags slung across her right shoulder and dangling at the left side of her waist, she moved down the road toward Mama. Mary, child, I think with what we picked today, we ought to have ourselves another bale. Mama was stooped over a low cotton branch. She stuffed one last puff into her bag and straightened. She was tawny-colored, thin and sinewy, with delicate features and a strong-jawed face, and though almost as tall as Big Ma, she seemed somewhat dwarfed. Troubleshooting this. Okay, it says I'm live again. Is the audio working now? You can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Are we Gucci? So, oh heck. Grumble, grumble, grumble. I feel like this is going to be one of those things that happens to me. I just feel like it. I feel like technology is going to irk my soul. All right. Let's try typing. That might work better. Can you hear me now? Yes? No? Maybe? Are we good? Good? No? Yes? Anybody say something so I know? It's fun talking to myself on a camera. It's really not. It's actually very weird, but I'm going to assume that it's fun. Hang on a hot second. I think I might have an idea. Spawn, can you just go back, just hit the home button? Gracias. Just need to turn the TV off. Hit the home button on the remote, dear. So apparently, since everyone and their mother is home right now, everybody is using the internet. So the neighborhood is having connectivity issues, and I pay for extremely fast internet, so that's kind of bothering me right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this here, and then I'll be back in a minute once I figure all this out. So I'll see y'all when I get back in a second. Okay? Cool.